Hey, Jeff here. So I was thinking of doing this video yesterday, but then I thought, well, the post office says they got a package for me to come in yesterday. It arrived at the post office in the wee mornings of the AM, and so it said it was expected to be delivered. So I thought, well, I'll wait for that to come. And then I waited and I waited and I waited and it never came. So yesterday disappeared. So then I thought, well, it'll come today and I'll go ahead and do the video afterwards. Well, the mail came and it didn't come. So I looked it up again, and guess what? It arrived at my post office again this morning. It arrived at my post office twice, but it hasn't been delivered. Anyway, enough ranting about the craziness. I do have some other things floating out there that I don't know when they're going to come. They're just out there and I don't have tracking. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and show this. There's not a whole lot, but these came in the day before yesterday. So two different sources. First off, on the vinyl world, I got the new Bride limited run vinyl. This Is Your God. Retroactive. Now, if for those of you who immediately know who Bride is, For those of you who don't, it's a band that has been around since the mid '80s, and they, come and go. They have been pretty active recently, but it's brothers, Dale and Troy Thompson, and they were one of the early bands in the Christian metal movement. They gained pretty popular in that movement. They put out a lot of really great albums in the '80s and the early '90s. And then, of course, over the years, they kind of fluctuated with the sounds and the times, and their sounds went to, alternative and a lot, different sounds all through the years, and people like them or don't, they all depends. The band has been, flexible when it comes to some of the sounds, and over the past couple years, they have been going back to a more classic sound. So this album, I would say, is a definite return to those who like. The high watermark for this band was Snakes in the Playground, 1992, 90 somewhere 92. It was what you would expect to hear of a metal band in the 90s. It was, everything from the Guns N' Roses feel, the all of those bands that were beyond what we consider the hair days and into the late 80s, early 90s, just solid metal. And that is considered their high water mark. And so everybody's always asking for, another return to that. Well, a couple albums ago, an album before this, actually, Snake Eyes was deemed to be a return to that. And it came, really close. It was a return to that sound. I feel this one, in a lot of ways, is even more of a return. So this is definitely a great, just solid metal album. Now, you may, with the whole Christian realm, and This Is Your God, there are some religious themes, but again, it's not one of those bands that's real preachy, Jesus loves you, you have to give your life to Jesus type thing. It's just written in, with religious themes at times. So it wouldn't be offensive, I think, if you deal with Stryper, who is way more, evangelical. I think you would like this. This is just a solid metal. I like Dale Thompson has been singing on a lot of projects recently, a lot of projects in the past couple years. And it seems like every time he's in a project, he uses a different style vocal. And a lot of times, I have to admit, I'm not favorable to what he's done with the layered vocals, the different, tones and stuff. And so, I never know what to expect with the new album that he sings on. This is just flat out. This is Bride. This is flat out his vocals. And this is how I prefer to hear him sing. And I would say the majority of this album is it's just solid. So I really applaud that. It's definitely a great return to that sound as far as the vocal style. So yeah, it is on a colored record here. Show that. It's got this cool looking orange, kind of translucent. It's got lyrics and pictures. Now, of course, the actual CD release of this came with trading cards, and I'm kind of got mixed feelings on that. We spend a lot of money on the records. It seems like the vinyl should have the bonuses and not the CDs. But I think the CDs were pretty much a band thing, and then this was pretty much a retroactive thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm just jealous. Maybe I'm just feeling like I want something extra too. But it would have been nice if they'd have had them thrown in also. Anyway, not a big deal. Well, whatever. I haven't been collecting all of those trading cards that these labels have been putting out, but I have a handful of them. All right, next up was, I received this in the mail. This is the Gale Force Subhuman. Get the glare. If you go back a couple videos, you may remember that I interviewed Michal Drive, the vocalist for Gale Force. We talked about the new release. Michal Drive, of course, if you didn't see that video and you're not aware, Michal Drive was the vocalist in the band Barren Cross back in the 80s and 90s. He's done some other projects over the years. He's done some solo work. Barren Cross got back together in the early 2014s and did a concert, released a live album. And so this is pretty much one of he's back with the band effort. Now the other part on this is the guitar player is Tracy G, as I've mentioned before. And Tracy G has been in a lot of projects. If you go to his website, I was surprised to see just how many albums he's released over the years. Just instrumental, other non-instrumental. But he's also known for, he was in the, Dio, he was in Dio's band in the mid-90s. So Strange Highways and around that time frame. I think he played on 2 of the albums then. So he had that claim to fame. Other than that, he's done a lot of solo work. Anyway, so he's back also with this, and so it's always touted as a Michal Drive of Barren Cross and Tracy G of Dio. Just solid and hard rock metal. Vocals are up there. Michal Drive hasn't lost a beat. He hasn't lost an ounce of the power he has, and Tracy G's a shredder. I mean, it's not a shredding album. It's just solid metal. Anyway, so yeah, and it's autographed, as you can see, and then Michael wrote on there to Jeff. So, but that is it for now. The rest of the stuff that I have coming in, stuff I don't know when it's coming in is and what's coming in. Who knows? But we'll see. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching. That's all for now. Rock on.